put it outside or outside? Oh, we could. This is only the second time it's been turned on. I tested it this morning. Oh. So how was New Jersey or?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I meet a lot of really cool people, learn a lot of neat things. Yeah, it was like session after session after session, just like covering all different kinds of like topics, PTC related, conversion rate optimization related. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Came up with a lot of good ideas, and we're implementing a lot of stuff right now. It's saving us so much time. So it was worth it.
Yeah,
totally worth it.
The best part, Hopper went. He's going to apply it for us.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it was a lot of fun. Didn't get to do too much sightseeing though, but it was just still fun. We got to go a few places to eat, and then the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, right down the street. Yeah.
Because New York's not, it's an hour away by train. But,
never been there.
I did a show in New Jersey, and I couldn't get a flight out for a couple of days, so I stayed. And I took a train up to New York. It's the middle of summer. It's 100 degrees. I mean, it's their hottest day ever. And I just got off the train station. I looked around. Oh shit, Empire State Building. Went up there. Great view. Had breakfast at some diner inside the Empire State Building. Real authentic New York stuff. And then I just walked to Central Park. And, I was done. I got back on the train and went back.
That's pretty cool. That's too cool. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook, and I saw the donkeys. It's like, I thought, well, because sometimes you post like stuff that you've already done, right? Like from like 4 years, 3 years ago today, whatever.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But no, you do. I pay attention every once in a while. But when I saw the donkey, it's like, oh, I want to go.
Those are memories. That's right. Yeah. Facebook will put it in memory.
Yeah, and you just post it real quick. Yeah. That's fun.
It is. But you get to the limit of the heat. You gotta go soon.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't go this year. I can't go this year.
Why?
Well, not even.
I can't never do nothing.
Can't never do nothing. Yeah. That's pretty much what it is right now.
All you have to do is 7 minutes a week.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. What you got there? Samples from
something waffle, something
waffle crisp.
Frappuccino.
How am I supposed to do this? Mail. The meetup, right?
Oh.
Yeah, because I should have thought about that. Slide.
Ya, pero no creo que estoy en el negocio así. No, pero por favor, no tengo tiempo. Preferí pagar. Sí, entonces he sido feliz por incluir ese máster. Porque me dicen que no. Que cómo me sí, o sea, sí.
Yeah, what's I do the math? That's funny you say that. That's about where I was. 5,000.
Good, good.
Hey, how are you? So, the house was. That's what my friend said. He goes, that sounds like Vegas to me. I'll sit this one out. I was trying to get into it. You know. So I can't stay all night. Can I leave for 2 cars? You know, I'm looking for. I went back to a music how to lesson plans, performances, everything. But what I do. Yeah, I'm hoping somebody He said he didn't know much about music when I asked him. Well, that's what you are. Oh, really? I should be doing it. I mean, I fly, so it's cheaper, right? It's
Porque yo no recuerdo, eso me parece pésimo. A menos que esté viendo que put something on Google Hangouts.
I think so.
No, una cuenta por
like when you're playing songs.
¿Cómo te pronuncias? Ya no sé qué tú
When you're
vayas a
doing a lesson for a song, you're playing at the same time as speaking. It's easy to
que te asocies con un
mess up
amigo,
one
¿no?
finger, twitch a string or something. It's good to have that out there when you're serious.
¿Qué tal si tienes hijos?
That's why I'll play. I might do like 5 to 7 things, especially like bubble different paragraphs. I like the boxes. Those take 30 days because they're all 3-page pieces. So it's got to be like there's no punch. But then like the rock videos, a breakout. So now it's
¿Qué será?
okay. That's my own kitchen card, but should I put YouTube on that? YouTube.
No, si yo veo una eso puede ser no, porque yo tengo que dar a ganar. Así sí. No, tengo que partir. Gano menos, pero gano más.
Still doing the same stuff?
Yeah.
Google Analytics or something like that, right?
Yeah, pay-per-click.
Pay-per-click?
Yeah.
Really? It's like-
Ahora te pregunté si tenía productos que se podían vender que tú estuvieras interesado, que tuvieran un buen margen.
So Chris, you're doing it for yourself now, right? Last time we talked, you broke off. You're not looking.
No.
Yes.
Yo ahorita lo que tengo son chicas tengo suplementos, tengo los kilos que ya me voy a dejar.
Got it.
Oh, email?
Yeah.
Yay! You know that the muscle bag, the 6-pack.
You spelled your name.
Oh, did I?
No.
Pero como los
I don't think I've seen it. Yeah. So I wanted to, that was one guy. When they asked me, his jobs, man, whoever he uses is crazy. Asian guy. Now he's got like a 58, but I could have. That's why it's called six-pack shortcuts. It's probably 20. He's got a page, and they're yellow, 8 ounce. And now we're gas, he's paying. How would it take me? Because once I get this up to like 50 pieces, so crazy. Should I send you? Well, actually, where do I send it to? Because I emailed you like a month ago. See that one? I have a personal account like that too. I check like once a month, and there's like 40, and I look through like 20 of them, and then I'm done.
I have like 16,000 unread in my.
You told me that something like that last time.
No, it was only 14,000 last time.
Oh, what?
It's cool.
Okay, so I'm one of those there.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock, so I'd like to go ahead and get started because we have a really special guest speaker today that I don't want to take too much of his time that he can share with us. So how many of you are new for the first time here? Oh, great. Well, welcome to the group. This is the Santa Clarita Internet Marketers Group. Basically, anything dealing with internet marketing, any questions that you might have, please feel free to ask them throughout the evenings. On most of our evenings, we have open sessions of questions as presentations go on. Tonight, we have a very special presentation that's not necessarily geared for the internet marketing marketer side that we work on, but this is part of the business building side that has a very, very important element to a lot of people who are building businesses. We will still have our Q&A because one of my main goals for this group is that nobody leave without getting their question asked. So if you have a question that comes up, and then later in the evening after Bryce is done, we'll again have Q&A for anybody who has other internet marketing questions. So how this group works, basically we meet once a month, first Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock here in this room. And Barnes & Noble gives us this room for free, as long as we fulfill 3 requirements. One, that it's open to the public, and other that we don't charge for anything, and the last is that we don't sell anything in the group here. So basically that's our community room here, and that's what the group was kind of founded for, that it's a no-pitch group. It's here just to share knowledge and what's out there. Now, tonight's special presentation, about 2 months ago, I had Bryce, actually Stephen and I were putting our company together back in September of 2015. And as we were forming the company, I wanted to really make sure that we had a good focus of where we wanted to go. Both Stephen and I are very entrepreneurial, which means we have a high level of ADD. We get distracted all the time, and because of the interest and the excitement that we have that goes with the business that we're in, it is very easy for us to get off track all over the place as new opportunities just pop out because we're working on certain things that come on. So one thing I wanted to make sure as we're going to bring on new employees that we kept our business focused in a very specific direction. And many business books that you'll read today always talk or have a lot to talk about vision and mission statements and how that kind of keeps you on track. So I was telling my wife that I was really interested in trying to find somebody who could really help us and coach us to get a good vision and mission statement put together. And she happened to know Bryce and said that coincidentally, that's his passion. He loves to teach this stuff. And so we had Bryce come out to our office and he gave us a full rundown on how to do it. I read probably about a dozen books that mentioned and talked, and even specifically about vision statements, about mission statements. And nothing was as clear as Bryce's presentation on how he was able to get us on track and how to pick a good mission statement for our company. So in the end, just so you know, when we're done with our vision part of it, because what he's going to go over is basically something that's almost done in a whole semester in college. Okay, he's going to try to cram it in an hour for us. So there's going to be a lot that's cut out, but he was able to get us onto a vision statement that was very clear for even our guys. And this is one thing that really made it very clear for us once we had this vision statement was, If we had a tough decision to make and we asked, does it fulfill our vision statement? About 90% of the questions could be answered instantly, yes or no. It was very easy to make decisions. We run an internet advertising agency, and in the end, I mean, when we have our vision statement, it came out to be make internet advertising more profitable, period. That's our vision. And anytime we have a decision to make, should we actually implement this or should we not? Will it make internet advertising more profitable for our customers, yes or no? If the answer is no, we don't do it. If the answer is yes, we'll move forward on it. And that's how fast things can be made. In the past, we would be sitting there probably for half an hour for every decision. Well, we could, we won't, but now we know what our vision, and our guys actually think the same way too. They come up with great ideas and great procedures and just different brainstorming things. And when we ask ourselves this question, will it make internet advertising more profitable? We know that they already know the answer before they even have to ask us. They know what we're going to be moving forward on. And this is what I hope to accomplish for any of you that are starting internet marketing or have a business that you're starting up. The importance of having a mission and a vision statement. And I don't want to take any more of Bryce's time, so I'd like to invite Bryce up to go ahead and give us one of the greatest presentations I've ever seen.
Well, it's very nice to meet all of you tonight. I teach this stuff at Cal State Northridge, so and occasionally, if a friend asks, then yeah, I'll kind of extend it into teaching it elsewhere, like Barnes and Noble. But since Chris is such a good friend, but yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cramming part of a graduate course in strategic management into about less than an hour, in less than 60 minutes. And man, you guys are going to get a bunch of information. Hopefully, you'll find it profitable to you, and you'll be able to get a better idea about what vision statements are all about and mission statements are all about. Because man, we hear those terms all the time. Oh, that's our vision statement. Well, our mission statement says this and that and the other. And heck, you ask most of the employees, they don't even know. They don't even care, actually. But oftentimes, we talk about vision statements, mission statements. We don't even know what the difference is between a vision statement and a mission statement. And if we saw one, we wouldn't know if it was a good one or a bad one. So before you leave tonight, you're going to know vision statements and mission statements very, very well. You'll probably know it better than your bosses, unless you're the boss yourself, in which case you should know it anyway. But we're going to really talk a little bit about vision and mission. When I teach a graduate course, it's usually in public administration. So the concepts that I normally teach have to do with strategic planning, and usually strategic planning for large public agencies, for counties, for city governments, for public agencies. But frankly, the standards that we use to come up with good vision and good mission are absolutely transferable to the business world. Okay, and I know that this audience tonight is business focused, and so we're going to talk a little bit about business success and vision and mission statements. If I can get this thing to go ahead and hang on a second here. So success at any level, regardless of whether it's government or whether or not it's your own business, is going to start with planning. Okay. In a way, sometimes, as Chris mentioned earlier, when we get into starting our own businesses and things, man, we don't want to worry about planning. We just want to start making money and let's get on with it. And we go to work and we've got problems and things to overcome. There's one crisis after another. And so we don't really have time to do a whole lot of long-range planning. We're just trying to get through the day in most instances. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and ways that we can have a better understanding of how planning can make things better for us. First of all, let's talk a little bit about strategic planning versus business planning, okay? We hear that term strategic plans all the time. Well, our strategic plan says that this, that, and the other, and we've just done our annual update on our strategic plan. That's all fine, and we'll have a little better understanding of that in a moment. But for entrepreneurs, for startup businesses, generally speaking, we're really not focused on strategic planning as much as we are on business planning. And I'm going to tell you what the difference is between the two in very simple terms right now. What the difference is really between strategic planning and business planning, okay? Let's start with the first point up here. Strategic plans are geared toward existing organizations. Generally speaking, when you hear about organizations or agencies or businesses doing a strategic plan, they're usually talking about established organizations that are really trying to move their organization from where we are now to a better place that we want to be, okay? So that's generally what strategic planning is. How do we move ourselves from where we are now to where we want to be? However, business planning is usually geared more to new businesses and startups. Never mind the fact that we've been in business for 80 years and we're trying to get our agency from where we are now to another place. No, we just want to get our business off the ground, okay? We just want to get some of those basic things done, and therefore, the focus of business planning really focuses in more toward newer businesses and startups. Strategic planning usually has extended future timeframes, usually sometime between 1 year and 5 years, or what you'll see as timelines for strategic plans. However, business plans usually are focused on the current environment. What's out there right now that we could take advantage of? What's out there right now that we could really become a part of from a business perspective? So you can see that business planning really focuses on current opportunities. Finally, strategic plans identify direction to staff and stakeholders. So when you put together a strategic plan, you want to convey something to the staff who work for that business or work for that public agency or nonprofit agency, and get them to get behind the organization so we can all be pulling in the same direction. However, business planning is a little bit different. Generally speaking, business plans aim to convey ideas to generate capital. In other words, if you wanted to start up a business, or if your business wanted to expand, for example, one of the main things you might need is money to do it. Now, where are you going to get that money? Could be from any one of a number of funders, could be a rich relative, could be any one of a number of people like that, could also be a bank, all right? Could also be a bank, or there might be some grants or things out there that you might want to take advantage of. But what is the first thing that the bank is going to want to see? Well, yeah, my friend and I have this great idea, and we think, honest, if you just loan us the money, I think everything's going to be fine, okay? Doesn't work that way in real life, okay? They'd like to see a business plan. What is it that you've evaluated about the giftedness that your particular business has that would make me believe as a bank that I could loan you some money to get this thing started? Convince me of that. How can you convince me of that? Okay, so that's part of what we want to do with a business plan versus a strategic plan. So you see what the kind of the difference is in the focus. However, when we look at business planning or strategic planning, regardless of whether or not it's strategic or business, a good starting point is almost always going to be vision and mission. Vision statements and mission statements are almost always the starting point of a good strategic plan, and also the good starting point for a business plan. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking strategic plan or business plan, that mission and vision is usually always a part of it, okay? I this week, out of curiosity, I just, went on the web and just started typing in business planning, strategic planning, and this is the kind of stuff that kind of popped up, the images that I saw. If you look at this image, indeed, all of the things that are on this page or on this slide are actually parts of business planning and strategic planning. There are business statements, organizations, goals. You'll see culture up there. You'll see public questions, the future, processing, customer service. It goes all under, the gamut is the continuum is wide. But if you see what the two biggest funded items are that they put up there, it's very, very clear. It's vision and mission. Those are they don't use bigger font on this thing than for vision and mission. They want to make it clear that a business needs to understand what vision and mission are all about, because that's the first thing the bank is going to ask. Okay, that's the first thing that people that are going to work for an organization want to know. Well, what do you guys even believe in? What is it that you do? What is it that you're really, really focused on? And that's what vision and mission are all about. Again, more images that I just pulled off the internet this week. Vision and mission. You can see where everything is with vision and mission at the top, directing objectives, strategies, tactics, plans. All of the planning you do falls, as Chris mentioned earlier, under the vision and mission. Are we aligned with doing what our vision and mission state our company is supposed to be doing? Okay. Again, another slide I got here, the usual business planning hierarchy. With regard to business planning as well, you see what's at the very, very top. The overarching issue at the top of the pyramid is vision. Under that is mission, objective, strategies, tactics, and planning. Okay. I started looking online for various business plans of different companies. This is a particular company that I pulled it off. Their first page had, as I was looking at their brochure, their first page is vision and mission. Another company here was called CK Way. I have no idea what CK Way does. The first page of their business plan, vision and mission. So vision and mission is, again, very, very important. Well, that's great to know. That's fine that vision and mission are so important, but how do we know what a good vision statement looks like? And how do we know what a lousy one looks like? Okay? So let's start with vision first, because vision is actually the overarching business model of what is really in control of our entire business. What's our vision? What is our vision for the future? It's been said that if you don't aim at anything, you won't hit anything. Well, that's absolutely true. We want to determine what it is that we're trying to hit and aim for. Doesn't mean that we'll always hit it. Doesn't mean that we'll be perfect. But there should be something that we're striving for, that we're aspiring to be as a business. And that's what vision is all about. Interesting comment here. It says, what could be worse than being born without sight? Well, it's being born with sight, but no vision. That's a statement by Helen Keller. And if you know anything about Helen Keller, you know that she was both blind and deaf. She could not see, she couldn't hear, but she was a woman of great vision. She had vision even though she couldn't see. Vision is very, very important in that regard. Here's another great quote I love. Soon after the completion of Disney World, somebody said, gee, isn't it too bad that Walt Disney didn't live to see this place? Mike Vance, the creative director of Disney Studios, replied, he did see it. That's why it's here. That's why it's here. Walt Disney always saw Disney World. He wasn't alive to see it, but in his mind, he knew that such a thing was possible. Okay? That's what having vision is all about. Right? Okay, now, vision can be very, very confusing. Again, getting back to what Chris said, and he's absolutely right. You go on the internet and you try to track down what a vision statement is all about or what vision means, you're going to get 50 million different ideas about what vision statements are supposed to look like and what vision is about. Now, there's a guy named Dan Beckham. Dan Beckham is a major consultant to businesses with regard to vision. This is his statement, and if he was here speaking to you tonight, what Dan Beckham would tell you about a vision statement is this. He'd say, a vision statement usually takes at least a paragraph to achieve sufficient specificity and direction. The specificity of the vision clarifies not only what the organization will do, but also what it will not do. It serves as a screen that allows individuals at all levels to sort out the to-dos from the not-to-dos. Vision is not intended to rally the troops. Okay? So we know by listening to Dan Beckham, who's an expert, that vision statements have to be pretty long. It's got to be paragraphs, okay? It can't be short. And it's got to have specifics about what the company and what the people are supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do, okay? Now, Brian Blumgren is another strategic planner. Now, what if we invited Brian Blumgren here, paid a lot of money for him to come and speak to us? He'd tell us something else. He'd say, no, vision statement. He says, make it short. If asked, can your customers recite your vision statement? To put it simply, vision is to inspire. Whoa, two experts in the field, and they're telling us two things that are diametrically opposed to each other, okay? One guy's telling us make it paragraphs long, make sure there's a lot of detail, the to-dos and not to-dos, so everybody understands what they're supposed to do. And the other guy says, no. Your customers should be able to recite it so that they know exactly what it is that you guys do, okay? Let's have a closer look at this. So we can see from the prior slide that even strategic planning experts have differing opinions about how to put together an effective vision statement. All right, so let's get another opinion. Let's ask another expert, and that's a guy named Cheshire Cat. Now, the Cheshire Cat is in a story called Alice in Wonderland. Don't know if you've ever heard of Alice in Wonderland, but in Alice in Wonderland happens to be a Disney film also, in addition to being a Carol novel, but it says in Alice in Wonderland, Alice gets to a fork in the road and she asks the cat, she says, which way do I go? Well, where are you going? Asked the cat. Well, I don't know. Then it really doesn't make any difference, replies the cat. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter. Any road will get you there. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And too many businesses, unfortunately, do the same exact thing. They don't really know where they're going. They just show up at work every day, and then they say, okay, what's the crisis of the day? What do we have to fix today? Okay, let's get cracking on that. Let's start working on that. We don't have any long-range vision or plans for where we really want to go in the future, but man, we've got plenty to keep us busy today. So it's a daily event of coming to work and solving whatever mess we're in today, and tomorrow there'll be another mess for us to worry about, and we'll take it day by day, all right? A vision statement clarify direction, and they're going to identify and define our future for us. It's going to reflect challenging ambitions of what we aspire to be. Should be something we can remember that's inspiring. So I'm going to really not listen to the expert that says make it paragraphs long with the to-dos and the not to-dos and all that. I'm gonna listen to Brian Blumgren, who says no. Make it short, make it understandable, okay, and make it something that everybody can look at that and they say that that's what our vision is. Yeah, it's what our vision is. So let's take a look at some vision statement examples, because it's one thing to just tell you about this, but I want you to kind of experience what vision statements really are all about. And so I'm going to show you a couple of examples of vision statements so that you can kind of get a feel for it. And I have to put kind of a footnote here. Companies change their vision and mission statements all the time. So I may present to you an iteration or a version of a vision statement or a mission statement that you may go on the websites and find it's a little changed. It might be a little bit different because, again, they evolve and change all the time. We'll talk a little bit about that point in a minute as well. But I just want to, for example, just to give us an idea about a vision statement, show you one, a real one. To achieve sustainable growth, we have established a vision with clear goals. This is the vision statement. Profit, maximizing return to shareholders while being mindful of our overall responsibilities. People, being a great place to work where people are inspired to be the best they can be. Portfolio, bringing to the world a portfolio of beverage brands that anticipate and satisfy people's desires and needs. Kind of gives the company away there on that one. Partners, nurturing a winning network of partners and building mutual loyalty. And planet, being a responsible global citizen that makes a difference. Whose vision statement is this? Any guesses? Coke. Good guess. This is the Coca-Cola Company's vision statement. They paid big bucks for that vision statement. Okay, big bucks for that vision statement. Now, give you another example. By comparison, let's look at what some strategic and business planners consider to be one of the greatest vision statements of all time. one of the greatest vision statements of all time by a consensus of strategic and business planning experts. It's this vision statement right here. Are you guys ready for this? All right, here it is. An apple on every desk. An apple on every desk. Now, a crazy guy named Steve Jobs cooked this stupid vision statement up, and he says, you know what? I'll tell you what vision is all about, man. It's about an apple on every desk, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't have my laptop is not an Apple, okay? I don't have it. To me, they're too expensive. And I was teaching a class once, and I said, you know what? I'm not saying that this has to be, in fact, true, that there, in fact, is a world with an Apple on every desk. But I told the class, I said, I don't have an Apple on my desk. But they looked at me and they said, do you have an iPod or an iPhone? I said, yeah. And they say, is it ever on your desk? I said, well, yeah, it is. They said, well, see, the Apple's already got you. They've already got you, okay? So in that case, there was an Apple on every desk. This, of course, is the vision statement of Apple Computer. Now, it's changed back and forth over the years because Steve was really in there with the company, and then he kind of was on the out, so they got rid of it. Then he came back again, and so there's been other iterations. But the original vision statement of Steve Jobs of an Apple on every desk is considered to be one of the greatest vision statements ever. So here's the question I have for you. What's the vision statement of the Coca-Cola Company? Well, what's the vision statement of Coca-Cola? Come on, everybody, all together! The vision statement of the Coca-Cola Company. It's got portfolio. It's got some people in there. There's some bunch of P's. There's a profit. There's a profit in there. A planet in there. But I'll tell you something. I don't know who the president of Coca-Cola is right now, but you can, if that person walked right into this room right now, we could sit him or her down in his chair and we could ask him or her, hey, can you tell us something? What's the vision Coke? What's the vision statement of Coke? He would stare back at us. He said, it's got some portfolios and some peas, pizza, platypus, whatever. You know, it's got a bunch of peas in it. Okay. I guarantee you right now, he could not actually tell us what his vision statement is for the Coca-Cola Company. Okay. I will tell you something else. You will never forget what the Apple computer vision statement originally was with Steve Jobs. An apple on every desk. You know what? I guarantee you something. Tomorrow morning, you can wake up in the morning, get out of bed, you can be brushing your teeth, looking in the mirror, and you'll be smiling to yourself saying, an apple on every desk. An apple on every desk. That's crazy. 10 years from now, you can be driving down Sunset Boulevard or down whatever, Valencia Boulevard, and see an Apple billboard, and you'll smile to yourself and say, that's crazy. An apple on every desk. An apple on every desk. Now, will there ever be an apple on every desk? No, there's never going to be an apple on every desk. I mean, that's dumb. What kind of a vision is that? We're never going to have an apple on every desk. But is it something to aspire for and something to aspire to maybe someday become? Yeah. That's really quite a vision if you think about it. That's what vision is all about. It's not a perfect thing that you have achieved, but man, it's something that we're going to try that have our business pursue. It's something that is somewhat elusive, but something that we think is important. So as you can see, if you ask someone who works for your company, hey, what's our vision statement? And they say, hey, I don't know. Or let me check our website and I'll get back to you on that one, okay? Then it probably isn't a very effective vision statement. A vision statement's not worth too much if nobody knows what it is.
Yeah. Did you get the idea from Henry Ford by any chance? Do you know anything about that?
You know, I don't know.
Never a car in every garage?
Yeah, car in every garage. I don't know.
That just sounds really
Yeah, I don't know. When I
1930s at every desk, the kids would bring the teacher an apple.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
suspicious.
I don't know, but it's got to be, the main thing is you want people to remember what it is, and it's got to be something that's inspiring that you can really try to achieve. Now, let's put this in the context of real life management, okay? If you ask somebody that works at Apple, somebody that works in IT there, that does the R&D work there, and say, hey, why are you guys, working so hard trying to get this? I said, well, we're trying to develop a new whatever it is, iPhone or whatever, because someday, if we can do this and really get over this next hump, we can have an Apple on every desk. You talk to a customer service rep at Apple saying, well, why are you being so courteous to the customers and explaining how their laptop is supposed to be working? They'll say, well, it's because if we do a good job on that, we can someday have an Apple on every desk. If you talk to the custodian who's vacuuming the floor in the executive wing, why are you working so hard? Well, it's because if we keep our entire exec wing clean, it's going to really spark an ability to think of new concepts, and we may someday have an Apple on every desk. Now, you ask the custodian at Coca-Cola why they're vacuuming the floor, and they're going to say, well, it's because of portfolio and profit. No, they're going to say it's because I want a paycheck next Friday, okay? You can see where there's a leadership aspect of a good vision statement where everyone can get behind it, right? Everyone can get behind it. Another thing about a vision statement, should last forever. Should last. It shouldn't be outdated next week, okay? It shouldn't be outdated next week. It should capture a need that will always be there, that you can aspire for improving at all points, okay? All right. Given the elements of aspiring hope and inspiration that can be remembered, I think you can probably come up with a pretty good idea for your company's vision statement. You probably are thinking of ideas, or you have some ideas right now about what your vision statement for your company might be, okay? Again, it probably is already generating or tripping some thoughts in your mind about what those ideas possibly could be. But they back up here. What about mission statements? Now, we already talked about the vision statement. What about mission statements? Let's talk a little bit about mission statements. And are mission statements the same thing as vision statements? Well, actually, they're not, although some experts will tell you it is the same thing. A vision statement, mission statement, same thing. Actually, they're really two different things. Okay, and I want to explain the distinction between the two. As a matter of fact, there are companies that will have one or the other, but they won't have both. Some of them have vision statements, but they don't have mission statements. Or they maybe have a mission statement, but they don't have a vision statement. So let's talk a little bit now about what mission statements are all about, okay? Vision statements versus mission statements. In this discussion, vision statements are sometimes considered the same as mission statements, and indeed mission statements can have elements of vision in them, but there's a distinct difference. Vision is about big picture leadership direction. Vision is leadership, okay? It's company leadership. That's what vision is all about, company leadership. What we hope our organization or our business will someday become. It may not be totally where we are now, but what we aspire to be, okay? So it's a big picture leadership direction, right? Now, on the other hand, mission is about organizational purpose and management direction. Whoa, okay, there's the distinction. Vision is about leadership. Mission is about management. Mission is about management, okay? So generally, effective mission statements address three things. A good mission statement will always have in it who we serve, what we provide, and how we do it. Those are the three key elements you will always see in a good, effective mission statement. Who, what, and how. Who, what, and how are always the three elements you find in a good mission statement. Okay, got that? Who, what, and how. All right. I know notice you guys doing a lot of writing. Just picture this picture in your mind. And this will always clarify for you in simple terms what the difference is between a mission statement and a vision statement. All right? Can you point out in this picture, this is from the Wizard of Oz, so we can see the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, Dorothy, and the lion. They are, in the Wizard of Oz, they are going someplace, all right? In this picture, there is a vision statement and a mission statement. What is the vision statement in this picture? You got it. You guys got it. Absolutely. It's the Emerald City. The Emerald City is far off in the distance, but that's the perfect world where we want to go. Because, man, if we ever get to the Emerald City, oh, my God, that'd be wonderful. Be the Emerald City, man, I get a heart. Okay, you get a brain. I get to click my heels together. I get back to Kansas. I mean, everything just comes together if we can ever get to the Emerald City. That is the leadership vision, big long-term vision of what we're striving for. Okay? Now, let me ask another question. In this picture, what is the mission statement? That's right. It's following the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road, right? And we know that you cannot, when you follow the yellow brick road, there's things you're not supposed to do. Just like when you run a business, there's things that you're not supposed to do, okay? You can stay in here, but don't get into these flowers and these poppy fields, because all kinds of bad stuff happens to you if you go into the poppy fields. Because these monkeys come and they're ugly, they've got wings, they carry you away to the witch. All these terrible things happen to you. Stay on the yellow brick road. That's what we do every single day. You stay on the yellow brick road. You stay on the yellow brick road. That is a mission statement. That's the mission statement. And if you follow the mission statement, it really helps direct you to the vision, ultimately, of the Emerald City. Okay? Not that we'll ever get there, but the mission is the management piece. It's the everyday things that we have to do in order to get to the Emerald City vision. Okay? All right, so therefore, to summarize it quickly, vision is leadership. It's the big picture target and inspired direction for a better future. It is the Emerald City. Okay? That's what vision is all about. Vision is always leadership. It is always leadership. Mission, on the other hand, is management. Okay? It's the purpose and process for getting your business there. Okay? It's the process for getting your business to the vision that you're aspiring to be. Okay? Vision is leadership. Mission is day-to-day management. Okay? So, there are mission statements, and I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to show you some examples of some good vision statements and some bad mission statements, okay? Here's a mission statement. It can be very, very brief. To enrich lives through effective and caring service. Now, whose mission statement is this? This is the County of Los Angeles's mission statement. It's kind of an assumed who we serve. We serve the citizens of the County of Los Angeles, but what is it that we provide? We enrich their lives. Enriched lives is what we provide to them, whether it be through health care, whether it be for paramedics coming to your home to pick you up, whether it be for public health investigators who make sure that Starbucks is not violating any health standards so that people don't get E. coli bacteria or anything else in their restaurants. These are all services that we don't think about. It's provided to us every day and it enriches our lives. We won't know about it and we won't miss it until we start getting sick. We don't miss it until the sewers start backing up. We don't miss it until the trash doesn't get picked up, okay? And the stench is unbearable, okay? Government services kind of silently go about doing things that protect our health and well-being so it enriches our lives. What is the how? How are they going to be providing this service as a county? Through effective and caring service. The effective and caring service is a distinctive how. Let's translate this into a business model. When you're doing a mission statement for your business, you're going to do the who we serve, the what we provide, and how we do it. The how should be the distinctive portion. You want your business to be distinctive in the way you do things so that another company couldn't just rip off your mission statement and say, hey, that sounds like a pretty good mission statement. I think we'll use that for ours too. Make your mission statement distinctive in the how piece so that we know that only your company can do that. All right, so we know that mission statements can be brief. I'll give you another example of a mission statement. This is another mission statement by a nonprofit agency called the Amherst Wilder Foundation. Now, let's look at this mission statement. The foundation's purpose is to promote the social welfare of persons resident or located in the greater St. Paul metropolitan area, consisting of the counties of Ramsey, Washington, Dakota, and Anoka, by all appropriate means, including the relief of the poor, care of the sick and aged, care and nurture of children, aid of the disadvantaged and otherwise needy, promotion of physical and mental health, support of rehabilitation and corrections, provision of needed housing and social services, operation of residences and facilities for the aged, the infirm, and those requiring special care, and the general conservation of human services by the provision of human services responsive to the welfare needs of the community, all without regard to or discrimination on account of nationality, sex, color, religious scruples, or prejudices. Signed, the Amherst Wilder Foundation. Now, I tell graduate students this all the time at Cal State Northridge. If you come up with a mission statement like this, I will fail you in this course. I will fail you in this course. This is not a good mission statement. This is a terrible mission statement. You know what this Amherst Wilder Foundation did? They got everything on a laundry list of everything that they do, and they just threw it into their mission statement. This is what we're all about, okay? And it very much misses the mark of telling us simply who we serve, what we provide, and how we do it. That's distinctive, okay? This is, again, a terrible mission statement. And I'll tell you the interesting thing about this mission statement. This mission statement is an example that came out of a strategic management book, out of a textbook, okay? So, again, even the experts, don't believe the experts if they tell you, yeah, this is a good example of a good mission statement.
Is that an attorney wrote that?
Probably, could have been, could have been.
It's a disclaimer.
Could have been. But this, again, this is a terrible mission statement. And then when in grad courses, what we do is we split the class up into teams, and they have to come up with developing a strategic plan for a real or make-believe organization. And again, I grade them on the basis of how good their mission statements actually end up being. Okay, well, you've shown us, you know, what a bad mission statement looks like. How about showing us some examples of some good mission statements? All right. So let me do that right now. Remember again, before we get started, however, that good mission statements always have three key elements in them. Key market, that means who is our organization or our business striving to benefit. Number two, what will our organization add to public value? So what is it that we actually provide? And third, what's the distinction, the distinctive how we're going to do things that separates us, sets us apart from everyone else. Again, who, what, and how. Here's an excellent mission statement. Happens to be by Walmart. Let's look at Walmart's mission statement. To offer all of the fine customers of our territories. We can see that's the key market. That's who, okay? All of the fine customers of our territories, the contribution, all of their household needs. We at Walmart offer the customers of our territories all of their household needs. I don't care what you need in your house. You come to Walmart, we got it. You need a big screen TV? Come on down the wall. You need underwear? Come on down the wall. Come on down the wall. Oh, your toilet brushes. You need a toilet brush. Come on down to Walmart. You name it, we got it. We got all of your household needs. There ain't nothing in your house that you need that you can't find at Walmart. So come on down. And what's the distinction? We will treat you in a manner of which you will continue to think of us fondly. Now, I have to be very frank. I go to Walmart every now and then. I don't think I've ever walked out of Walmart back to my car thinking, gee, I think fondly of those guys. I didn't say it had to be true. Okay, it doesn't have to be true necessarily. But if you look at this mission statement, man, this is a killer. This is a killer mission statement. Absolute killer mission statement. Got the three elements: key market of who, contribution of what, and the distinctive how we do it. To offer all the 5 customers of our territories all of their household needs in a manner which they continue to think of us fondly. Very, very well crafted mission statement. Let's move on to another one that's not bad. Courtyard by Marriott. To provide economy and quality-minded travelers, that's the who. Let's look at the contribution. With a premier moderate priced lodging facility, that's the what. And what's the distinctive how? How are you going to do that? Which is consistently perceived as clean, comfortable, well-maintained, and attractive, staffed by friendly, attentive, and efficient people. Boom. Courtyard by Marriott. I don't know too much about the hotel business, but I understand that there are multiple levels of hotels that are geared and targeted to particular types of customers. There's the value or economy rated hotels, and many hotel companies have all 3 of these within the purview of their business. They offer the economy level, the mid-range level, and of course the deluxe level as well. Okay, so to provide economy and quality-minded travelers, premier moderately priced lodging facility. If I had one criticism of this, it says which is consistently perceived as clean. I don't understand what Marriott is trying to convey with perceived as clean. So what does that mean? You put a black light on those sheets and, you know, it's not really going to show something. But as long as it's perceived as clean, you won't know the difference. I take that out. I just say which is consistently clean, comfortable. It is clean. It's not perceived as clean. Now, that would be the only recommendation I would make to Marriott. But again, getting back to the point of mission statements, very, very good mission statement. Very well done. All right. I'll give you the mission statement. You give me the company. The mission is to improve the quality of human life, to enhance self-reliance and concern for others, and to help people avoid, prepare for, and cope with emergencies. Whose mission statement would this be?
EMT?
It's EMT. It's an EMT type service, yeah. Preparing for emergencies, disasters, things of that nature.
FEMA?
FEMA, actually this is the American Red Cross. This is the American Red Cross. So you can see how it's a very well crafted mission statement. Who they're going to serve, what is it that they're going to provide, and the distinctive how they're going to do it. They're going to do it with concern for others. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in that order. The who, what, and how can be in any order you want in the mission statement. In this particular mission statement, the coping and preparing and coping for emergencies is what it is that they provide, and it is at the end. You can see that the distinctive how they're going to do it with enhancing self-reliance and a concern for others is in the middle. So it doesn't, the big 3 doesn't have to be in any particular order, but as long as those 3 elements are there, you know you've got a solid mission statement.
The absence of a who is because it's everyone?
Yeah, I think it's to help people avoid, I think the general to help people avoid, that's all people that are out there, not only in the United States, but as you know, the Red Cross is oftentimes going international. In fact, they call it the International Red Cross. Why? Because they oftentimes will go to other places to provide these services. So it's kind of an assumed who in that particular instance. Yeah. How about we want to be the world's best quick service restaurant experience? Being the best means providing outstanding quality, service, cleanliness, and value so that we make every customer in every restaurant smile. Yeah, somebody said McDonald's, absolutely correct. This is McDonald's mission statement. And of course, the who, the what, the how are all present in their mission statement. How about this one? Our mission is to create a growth strategy that allows us to bring good to the world by refreshing people every day and inspiring them with optimism through our brands and our actions. Starbucks could be. It's a beverage brand company. Actually, this is Coca-Cola. Do not like their vision statement, but I love their mission statement. Their mission statement is very, very solid. Okay? Creating a growth strategy, allowing us to bring good to the world. That's what they're providing. How they're going to do it is in the middle by refreshing people every day and inspiring them. That's the who, through optimism, through our brands and actions. How about this one? To bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you're an athlete. Absolutely correct. Yeah, you got that one right on the head. That's Nike. Okay, bringing inspiration, innovation to every athlete. If you have a body, you're an athlete. How about this one? To all of our products and services and relationships, we will add to life's enjoyment. Good mission statement. Who's going to add to life's enjoyment through products and services? This is actually Budweiser. That's Budweiser's mission statement. You give somebody a case of Bud to drink, and they're going to add to somebody's enjoyment. Yeah. Either somebody's enjoyment or somebody's entertainment. Okay. All right. So those are examples. So again, getting back to the elements of mission statements, you don't want to clutter your statement with a bunch of unnecessary details. You know, don't make a clock, just tell them what time it is, okay? Amherst Wilder is a good example of a mission statement that has just so much detail in it that nobody's going to remember any of that stuff. Make sure it has the key elements. Keep it positive. Remember that it will be read by the public and those using the organization's services. So you want to maintain a positive focus. Key thing to remember in a good mission statement, it's going to have 3 elements in it in any order. The key market of who we serve, the contribution of what it is that we provide, and the distinction of how we do it that separates our business from anybody else's business. Okay? How our business does it that nobody else can match. Okay? Questions? Any questions at all about putting together a good solid vision statement or a good solid mission statement for a company? Any questions at all? Putting together a good vision, good mission. Okay. Yes.
I guess I don't know quite where it fits. When I was taught vision statements, they had to come to time frame. They defined a future state. Usually it was a stake in the ground 10, 20 years out.
Yeah.
Like that. So it wouldn't become obsolete, but it could have a size element or
Sure.
a serving element. Is that now passé?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question, actually. That's a great question. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't consider it passé, but I would say this. A vision statement is something you don't want to have to change every year, okay? Now, having said that, when we think in terms of dealing with things, you know, like Stephen and Chris have to do in dealing with technology, for example, does something that is a vision today become passé in another few years? Yeah, that's very possible. It could. You want to actually target and shoot for something that is not going to be outdated soon. Generally speaking, we want to make vision statements something that will last forever, okay? An apple on every desk would probably last forever because that probably would never happen, okay? There's going to be a desk somewhere in Siberia that is never going to have an apple on it, but it certainly is something to shoot for. I was actually teaching a class out in Ventura recently, and on this street called Seaward, there's an In-N-Out burger, and man, I was hungry, so I wanted to get in line for an In-N-Out burger. So I got in line for an In-N-Out burger, And I noticed that there's a Ventura City truck in front of me, getting an In-N-Out burger. They're right in front of me. And I happened to notice a vision statement right by the county seal. Oh, man. What it said was this. It said, making Ventura even better. Oh, wow. That's a killer vision statement. Making Ventura even better. Man, it almost brought tears to my eyes to see that, okay? Making Ventura even better. That's an outstanding vision statement. Will we ever get to a place where that vision statement's not applicable? No, because Ventura could always be better. Valencia could always be better. Santa Clarita could always be better, okay? So that's a great vision statement that doesn't have a year time or a time frame attached to it. Now, a mission statement is possible, because of the way we do things, it is possible that a mission statement could become outdated soon. And in the world of strategic management, what we want to teach is the difference between strategic planning and strategic management. So you're still raising a great point. A strategic plan is a document that we usually have that outlines a period of time, depending on who the expert is you're talking to, could be 1 year to 5 years. But in strategic management, we always want to be aware of the fact that things change. Our environment is always changing, and we therefore want to be able to manage our strategic plan, knowing that we may need to make changes to our strategic plan because of that changing environment. The city of Boston, for example. Do you think the city of Boston has a strategic plan? Yeah, absolutely. City of Boston has a strategic plan. Is the Boston Marathon part of that strategic plan? Yeah, there's a part of the strategic plan of Boston that has the Boston Marathon in it. After the bombs went off at the finish line at the Boston Marathon, do you think that strategic plan had to change? Yeah, absolutely. Changed a whole lot. You can no longer carry backpacks to the finish line of the Boston Marathon, okay? Those elements had to change. Why? Because in an instant, the entire environment changed. So it's a changing process all the time. But to answer your question more directly, you want the vision statement to be somewhat permanent if you can, knowing that the mission statement, however, might have to change, and more importantly, an entire strategic plan or a business plan may have to change as the surrounding environment changes. So we need to sometimes keep up with that. So that's a great question. Any other questions about vision or mission?
I have one more question.
Yeah. Okay.
What about the blatant ones with the incorrect English on Got Milk? Remember they started a whole series of stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
Right?
I'll tell you one thing about Got Milk. Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it may not always, the syntax may not be perfect, but I'll tell you, if it's effective and it works, I say go for it. If it's something people are going to remember, man, I think that's great. That's what makes an apple on every desk such an effective vision statement.
Our local congressman here is using it. You saw it, right? Got milk.
Oh yeah. In fact, Scott Wood was one of my students at one time.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah, and he came up. Yeah, he came up with something that was very, very effective, and he won. So can't knock it. Yeah.
I was going to say, some of these vision statements seem like taglines. So what's the difference?
You know, as long as it conveys the leadership vision of what it is, there are some, you know, for example, the Los Angeles Police Department, to serve and protect. We can say that that's a motto, or we can say that that's a vision, but, you know, are we going to serve and are we going to protect everybody at all times? No, there's going to be people that slip through the cracks all the time, and that's why we have police to serve and protect. It's not that they're going to necessarily do a perfect job, and it could be looked upon. Somebody might say, well, actually, that's a motto or a tagline. It's however you want to define it as a company or an organization. You can make but you want to, if you want to call it vision, if you want to call it a tagline, you can call it avocado, it didn't mean, it can be whatever you want it to be, but there should be an overarching driver for an organization or a business that defines the leadership direction that you want to take. And again, if you want to call it vision, if you want to call it a tagline, that's okay. That's okay.
But pretty much the same thing as what you're.
It's all in how the company wants to define it themselves, okay? But the main thing is you want to know ahead of time that a true vision statement is going to be the leadership driver and the direction that's out there. It's the Emerald City for every company to pursue. Okay.
So in fact, my tagline could be a derivative of the vision statement.
Yes.
The vision statement.
Yes. Could be. Could be. Yeah. Yeah, could be.
Like the Freudian sip, your coffee.
Yeah, the Freudian sip on Cal State Northridge's community. Yeah, yeah.
Did you come up with that?
No, I did not.
That is just so
I
funny.
did not coin that phrase.
Do you like that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's catchy. Nobody forgets it. Everybody knows what the Freudian sip is. Because it's kind of takeoff. It's a takeoff pun on the Freudian slip. Yeah, yeah. Anything? Yeah.
Could you go back a couple slides?
Yeah.
I guess my question is, since the goal here, I think, is.
Which slide do you want?
Let's just stop there for a second.
Okay.
Is to help employees and customers. So
Yes.
employees to better make decisions and find directions, decide what not to do and what to do, and prospects/clients to know whether to have a relationship with this company or another.
Yes.
It would seem to be one of the tests of a mission statement is how effectively does it do that?
Yeah.
So to me, for example, okay, so this would claim that Budweiser is aiming for people who want a brand associated with enjoyment, and for employees to judge whether what they're working on adds enjoyment or not to the drink.
Yeah, let's go back to, I think, a mission statement that does a better job than that, and that's Walmart's,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, that one's very clear, right?
It's very clear.
That's why I was asking about the other ones, because to me, even Nike's, for example,
Yeah, it's kind
do I
of,
really know if I'm, it's innovation and it's athleticism.
Yeah.
I don't know people who buy Nike, they buy it because of the brand and
Right.
the high-end image,
Right.
not necessarily because of innovation.
yeah, I would agree with that. Sometimes mission statements really start getting into marketing
Right.
as opposed to the three elements that we talked about. If we stick to the Walmart model and we see that they're identifying the customers, and not only are they identifying the customers, that's us, they're actually paying us a compliment. We're fine customers. They're paying us a compliment there of all of our territories, but all of the household needs. And then this is the part that the staff, when you're having a staff meeting and you say, look, this isn't a matter which they continue to think of us fondly. That's the sales part internally. That's the internal stakeholder piece of a good mission statement. It's because you see, guys, we all work for Walmart. When that customer leaves you and they're walking back out to the parking lot, are they saying they had a good experience, or they're thinking of you fondly, or are they thinking, that Walmart, staff member didn't give me the kind of service that I would think of them fondly. Okay, so yeah, absolutely, it's something that you want to have as a standard for the company, that everyone can say, hey, look at our mission statement. That's how we treat people. Okay, and indeed, when we teach mission statements to governments, okay, and government agencies, what we want to encourage is for many government agencies to actually incorporate the mission into every decision they have to make. As a matter of fact, the County of Los Angeles, for example, because I used to work for the County of Los Angeles, and when county department heads actually submit a recommendation to the political body, to the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, they have to boilerplate explain in the action that they are recommending to the Board of Supervisors, how does this fit into the strategic plan and the mission of the county? Because if it doesn't fit, then we shouldn't be wasting our time doing it. Okay?
So it's a distilled version of an operations manual.
In a way, it can be a distilled version if the organization chooses to incorporate it as such. And in the instance that I just mentioned, the County of Los Angeles, every county department head that's going to make a recommendation to the County Board of Supervisors better be able to show how this recommendation fits into the overall county strategic plan.
So it has to correlate with one of those three.
It should correlate.
At least one.
It should correlate. More specifically, it should correlate to how it meets the county strategic plan. We're getting into a different area now and talking about the broader aspects of strategic planning. But yes, it should be consistent. The county strategic plan should be consistent with the mission. The mission should be consistent with the vision. So that we're not running in a bunch of different directions. I showed a slide earlier where the mission and the vision and everything was headed as an arrow in a direction, and everything under it with the goals and objectives and strategies are all aligned, so everybody's marching in the same direction, doing something that's consistent. It's not people running off in a business, going in different directions, doing different things. We're consistently headed in the same direction all the time. Okay, that's what we're striving to do.
And do mission statements for government agencies tend to be light on distinction because they have no competition?
Actually, the point you made earlier about how has that become passé is an interesting aspect. You're raising it. We're getting into government agencies now, but let's talk about what you just said. There was a time, if I asked you a question as to who the absolute worst of the worst is when it comes to government agencies, who would be at the top of your list? DMV. DMV. And you know what? That's what everybody says. Because if you think of the DMV, okay, if you think of the DMV, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Man, those long lines for one thing that hang out the door and down the block. And they haven't even opened yet. Okay, they haven't even opened. And when they do, that line doesn't go down much at all. Okay, everybody thinks in terms of the DMV being the absolute worst nightmare for any citizen who wants to do any business, whether it's renewing your driver's license, to renew your automobile registration. But let me tell you something. Have you done business with the DMV lately? And let me ask you another question. Is the DMV, because you said earlier, because they're the only game in town, they're the only place you can get it. Is the DMV the only game in town now? If you want to renew your automobile registration, does it have to be through the DMV? No, it doesn't. There's competition. Where else could you get it done? AAA, absolutely correct. Could be done at the AAA. And I guarantee you something. If you go into the DMV, if you went on the DMV website tomorrow, and do they have a Saugus Newhall DMV?
Yes.
There is one.
Yep.
Okay. You know, you can go on the website, the DMV website. They will tell you exactly how many minutes you will have to wait in the Saugus Newhall DMV. You know that it will also tell you how long you have to wait if you go to Van Nuys. If you go to Arleta, if you go to Granada Hills, it will tell you exactly to the minute how long your wait is going to be in that DMV office. Has anybody recently tried to renew their registration online with the DMV?
Yeah.
Anybody done that? I did it last week. You know how long it took me? 3 minutes. And I got to use my MasterCard and get points at no charge to me. Okay? I got to tell you something. The DMV, even though the popular conception is that they're the worst public agency to do business with. They're very much aware of it themselves, and their vision and mission are striving to improve those services. I got great service when I went to the DMV online to renew my registration. Took me 3 minutes. Took me 3 minutes. Couldn't have been simpler. Couldn't have been simpler. No. So they themselves, a guy named Frank Zolan, really tried to really improve DMV services. And in fact, if you go to a DMV now, and the second place of all the public agencies where people complain is the U.S. Post Office. Actually, you go to the post office and you go to the DMV, you're going to be very surprised, particularly if you make an appointment online. Public agencies are getting to a place where they're going to have to become more and more like businesses. Why? Because they are receiving a great deal of competition now. Is the only way you can send a package to the U.S. Post Office? No, we've got other options. You know, you can go to UPS, you can go to any other places, and that competition has created the need for a different vision structure, a different mission structure as to how we do business. So it's a great question, great question. And even public agencies are having to change to this business model.
One of the other main reasons I wanted actually Bryce to share with us a lot of what he was able to give us is because for those of you who are internet marketers or online with even a simple single website, that website is your business. And to be honest, if you really look at how your website is built, we get asked all the time. I mean, I think every once a month when I'm here, at least 4 or 5 inquiries about can you tell me a little about my website, how I can improve it? And the number one thing that I always come up with is what is the goal? Or more so, what is the vision of the website? And a lot of people will actually come up with something as vague as just to make money. And that vagueness actually gives a real lack of direction of what can be done to a website. Take a vision exercise like Bryce just showed us and apply it to your website. In fact, the more I thought about it, the one, I've explained this, I think, numerous times. I had about 40 or 50 graveyard websites that are dead. But, there's about 4 or 5 that have survived. And those are the ones that in the beginning, I had a clear vision for and what they were going to do. And I focused on it. And that's what it was built and meant to do. And those are the ones that actually survived. And I challenge you, for those of you who have website businesses that are out there, this is very relevant into not necessarily having a team, I guess, inspired by what you're doing. But even in you as a single entrepreneur building your website should exude your vision. It really should. I mean, it's communicating with the world what you're all about, what you want it to be. Have a vision and a mission statement for what you're doing. Like I said, I can't explain how often I come across websites and I say, what is the goal of it? And they really cannot tell me what the goal was other than to make money. There should be something bigger than just making money. In fact, if a vision is strong enough, the money will follow. I mean, if that's what the goal of the site's going to be, but you need to get everything in line, because a lack of vision actually then puts a lack of focus. And that's like I said, when Stephen and I were putting our business together, we wanted to make sure that we stayed focused because we knew that we would be drawn to all different places. And it was so easy for us to get because we have years worth of skills of different things that we could do, but the lack of focus could be a big detriment to our business. And it served us well. And I mean, after we got clarity from Bryce coming over and explaining and got our mission statement, our vision statement put together, it was night and day on the operations of us actually staying focused on what we were doing. So I challenge you. I mean, it's just, I don't know if you realize how strong the lesson is on this, and which is why I really wanted him to come out and speak to us on this, because it's a very powerful tool to have that put in place on your websites.
Do you mind sharing your mission statement?
Oh, ours is to make internet advertising more profitable.
So that's our vision.
That's our vision statement.
What's cool?
Yeah, your mission.
Oh, the mission statement's not done yet.
That's still on.
Yes.
You should see it. It's still on our wall, just a bunch of scribbles and ideas, and then kind of a vague mission, and then we're like, this isn't right.
Yeah, we have a big poster piece of paper that has writing all over in all different angles and different ways on it, and we're still kind of formulating the final mission statement for them.
Well, what's really cool about the vision statement, I think the biggest takeaway from our meeting was that since we do, before we had employees, we were working on something, or just like tired. It's like, is this gonna actually help our clients? Is it gonna make their internet advertising, whatever medium, more profitable, right? So just that one small sentence has led, the direction of our company, and we tell our employees that, and they remember it. Right? Because it's very simple. We just want to make you more profitable, right? Even if they don't know the exact statement, they know the gist of it, and they know the direction of it. And so when they're working, or maybe like, I don't know what to do, it's like, well, what should you do? What's the vision of the company? Oh, okay. Well, then the ideas start to come, and we just kind of like, we only embedded it in their mind a couple times.
Yeah.
And whenever they're like, I don't know what to do, but what would make them more profitable? Okay, this is what needs to happen. And it almost helps automate the businest, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I've been called on it too. I mean,
Yeah,
somebody actually
yeah.
said, "Oh, Chris, should I make a new spreadsheet for every client that will do this?" And I thought, that's a lot of work. And the first thing he turned around and said, "It's going to make our internet
Bruno.
it's going to make it more profitable." I said, well, that's it. You're right. And if that's what it's going to do, we should do it. And then go ahead and do it. And that, I mean, like I say, it's very, very powerful. Yes.
If a customer or a visitor was to visit a website, where's the best place to put, where can they see your vision, the statement, like where can they see that? Should it be in a different link, or should it be right at the front when they view the website?
My opinion is most websites should have an about us, if that's your company, because I have seen big company, a lot of their analytics in the backside, company after company after company, a lot of times the second most visited page other than the homepage would be actually the about us. For some reason, a lot of people like to go there. I suggest putting a vision statement right on the top, because it's very clear for whoever's coming to your website that knows what you're about. Put your vision and your mission there together if you have it already, and put it on there. But I mean, I really love our vision statement so much. I think we should actually have it on the front of our homepage. But that's a preference.
Well, that could be a tagline.
It could be a tagline, and you're right, it could be.
So let me ask you, I'll put you on the spot. Did you write a mission and vision statement for all your orphan websites?
No, I think that we only learned this recently. I mean, it's only about 4 months total that we've been around. But actually, one of my main websites, the one I told Kids Money Farm, without even knowing what a vision statement was, my vision for it was to teach kids how to grow money, and that's what it formed. Yeah, and that was very much focused on what it was doing. Everything I put into it was all about teaching kids how to grow money, and that site is the one that seems to have survived the longest because of the, in my opinion, because of the vision that was behind it.
What I also like about what Chris did with their vision, that I think that's applicable to your businesses as well, is that you may be crafting this vision statement as a vision statement for your company, but if you really look at what he's talking about with making things more profitable, as customers or potential customers read that, they can read that as a vision statement that's going to help them. Okay, that's a key piece of doing it. When you craft that vision statement, put yourself in the shoes of your potential customers. Can they see a benefit to themselves as well? So is it a shared vision that they can adopt as something that's going to benefit them as well? That's a great piece of what they've done with their vision statement, that anybody that reads it can say, wow, that's what I want for us. That's what I want. That's what makes me want to engage their company to really help me, because that vision benefits me as well, okay, in the same way.
So could you basically, let's say a motto or a tagline, could you, let's say the mission statement, can you actually summarize it or make it shorter and use it as a motto? Just kind of, because you can't, if you put that on a homepage or something, or you put it next to that's a lot to put on it, but can you actually shorten it and just kind of summarize it?
I guess you could. I mean, as long as it holds true to every of the key elements that are there. Okay. I mean, that one's not that long at all, and that's a very good mission statement. I could see that even highlighted at the bottom of the footer, or even on the top, maybe right side, somewhere where it's actually very obvious of what it is. But I mean, still something a little longer if need be. I wouldn't mind having it on the about us. If somebody hits that, they're going to start reading. They went there for a purpose, is my usual understanding of why people go to the About Us page. I like to go to About Us pages for most organizations as well to figure out what they're about. I mean, it's a strong part of my, whenever I go to websites, yes.
I think that's a strong distinction. As a copywriter, your website is about your clients. Your mission and your vision is at least half about you. You do not want that to be the lead and to clutter your headlines, your call to action, and what you're trying to do on each of the pages. So the About Us is a great place to put it because they can dig. But if you have something that's more internally focused, that confuses with the primary message, you're going to lose a lot of conversion. You do not.
100% agree with him. Yes, now I take that back. I agree. It should not be about you on your homepage ever. It really shouldn't. Your copywriting, number one rule is make it about your client and make it about them. I agree with that, yes. It should probably be on the About Us more so. Thank you. Any other questions for Bryce?
Thanks very much for
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so, yes.
Before you go on, does everybody like the new projector?
I was going to say that.
Nice. So the people that didn't contribute the last month, now it's the opportunity to do it because we were short and this was the money. So whoever feels so generous today, whatever is your will, I will go now and collect.
Yeah, so I would like to thank all of you who did contribute last time to getting this. The projector came out to be about $450. I could have got one for about $350, but the extra resolution that was on this one was well worth me upgrading for it because of the resolution of the websites that we actually go into. So thank you guys all very much who have actually been contributing to it and to help us get this.
I got a suggestion for next month's speaker.
Okay, so I do have actually a book speaker for next month for a copywriter that's going to be talking about copywriting. Well, I mean, the copywriting. Was there anything else?
Well, it's really about copywriting, and it's all phases of copywriting.
Oh, great. Okay, I remember using this. Thank you. Okay, so copywriting is something that actually, if you've never been involved in understanding it or learning it, the psychology behind it, it's a fascinating field. So I highly recommend you coming out there. Those who don't know what copywriting is, it's basically the art of actually crafting a message to get people to take action. It really is, in a nutshell, that's how I see copywriting to be. And there's a lot of psychology that goes behind it. Now, as always, before anybody leaves, if you came with any internet marketing questions, by all means, this is now the time to ask because we still have some really, really great people that can help answer questions about anything that might be going on in your internet. Yes.
I have a question
Sure.
That came up. As I noticed one of my local listings and stuff like that,
Okay.
for just online for your business. Well, I had a lot of confusion. I finally decided where I was going with it. I'm going to just use my home address, but just have it not show up as a service.
Okay.
But the question is, when I was looking online, it's like all these different things came up. Like some had my address that I had listed as the one that was my PO box kind of thing, or mailbox place that
Okay.
I never even used, but that was what I had signed everything up with. But there was also Yext and stuff like that. Is that like a waste of money? Like,
Yext.
or is that, have you ever heard of Yext?
Has anyone heard of
Yeah,
that?
I've heard of yes.
They like, cause Google, I just have to wait for my postcard, which is going to the wrong place right now. When I was trying to clean everything up,
Mhm.
and I accidentally, like, it made it so that I'm unverified, and I just was curious about if it's necessary for like just local listings in general, or like once it's cleaned up with Google, if everything should just fall back into place. Cause I used to show up #1 on Google Places.
Yes.
Like not #1, like in the top 3, but like it just disappeared. And then they put my other business as closed.
Huh.
And it was just weird. And then someone from Yext called me because like but I wonder how much of the stuff on their listings for local listings is actually
What is, I don't know what Yext is.
They supposedly have it's for a fee, but they'll clean up all of your addresses, because you had mentioned here that it's important to have all the addresses for your business and phone numbers all the same everywhere.
Yes.
And mine have the phone number the same, but it has different business names, it has Walmart Square Flood, it has Well About Fund, it has the Balboa address, it has my home address, it has weird stuff all over the place.
I don't know.
So-
I'm not a fan of actually paid services like that.
I didn't think so.
No.
I just didn't know if it's like, it sounded
So
like
do
expensive.
you own the profiles that are on there?
Yeah, I claimed them
Okay.
myself and all
Okay,
that,
so
I just
you
to
have
go
the
in.
name of your business and then all of your business information. And so you, again, like he said, and like we talked about before, you need to keep everything exactly the same for whatever business you want to rank across all citations. So
So I should
Yelp,
just individually just start going and
Yes.
cleaning them up myself.
what I do, get a spreadsheet and just, go through one citation. It's going to ask you all kinds of questions. Just copy
Yeah.
paste it there, so you can just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Make sure they are all exactly the same. Get verified by Google. Make sure you load it full, right? So the Google My Business page is going to ask you a lot of questions. It's going to say, oh, do you have a website? What is your business about? Make sure to not stuff it, but have a well-optimized description about what your business is, what you offer. Load those keywords in there, semantically related keywords as well. And then also make sure to have images, images that would increase your conversion rate as far as clicks. People want to click, so if it grabs their attention, right? You can also edit the images on the back end, right? That was what Anthony was all about, right?
Using Photoshop, you can actually put some meta description or meta information onto your pictures.
So basically geotagging your images
Yeah.
for your location. So it's just other signals to let Google know you are who you say are and you are where you are at. As far as citations go, like what Yext does, if there are any local listings, because I know there's a few different local listings. I know Hometown Station has some of theirs. Any local listing companies. And that's kind of on the back end. Front end, you want to do Yelp, any of the big ones, right? Yellow Pages, you can get a free citation. When I say citations, it's just a business listing on any other page.
Business listing directory is
Yeah.
also a citation.
Yes. So any type of those directories, and you can take a look at Yext and see what they offer, and just do it yourself.
Well, I was wondering if they were the ones that jacked it up in the first place, because they have this nice spreadsheet. Supposedly what the value of it is, of paying them, is that then you get a list of all those things all in one place that you could change. They have created the software to do it, and it comes up I was just going in to clean my stuff up manually, but then it kept leading me back to this Yext site, and I didn't know I was on it. I thought I was directly in my thing, but then it wants you to, they're synced up a little bit with Yahoo and with stuff like that. So
who owns Yext? Are they their own company?
they might be owned by Yahoo. I'm not sure, but they have a special software. Well, the package that was supposedly good was for $499 for the year.
That sounds like Yellow Pages.
Yeah, well, maybe they're affiliated with them or something.
As long as you optimize your listing on Google,
once I do, then it'll get cleaned up better.
it's pretty.
Like magic.
Yeah, for local listings, it's not, unless you're an attorney or one of the really difficult niches.
Well, I don't want all these other directories to show up. If the good ones show up, then it doesn't matter.
Well, you're talking about the snack pack, 3 listing for local business.
Yeah, if it shows up in that, then you don't need all that other baloney Manta and this and that.
I'd still use Manta.
I have that. I went and cleaned that. The ones that I could go in and clean up that I.
There's also City Search. That was another big one. Yeah, just go on Yext. There's a few of these other ones, but
Merchant Circle.
Yeah, Merchant Circle.
Foursquare.
Yeah.
Oh, they're a pretty big company.
You name it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. It sounded interesting, but I was well, I don't know about
If you
that.
really want to have a lot of citations, hey Chris, can you go to pbnbutler.com? This guy has a service. It's a lot less expensive than Yext. They don't manage it. They will set it up, but they also will send links to it. You can have them send links to your citations to get them indexed quicker, or you can just let it get indexed organically. It depends on what hat you're wearing. But are you familiar with what a PBN is?
What is that?
A private blog network.
Oh,
I think that's a talk for another day. But they do have a service for,
I was
let's see
just curious,
here.
'cause that was on my mind, I didn't know if like Yext was right.
Do they still have it on there?
What's the name of this company?
This is a PB and Butler.
Butler.com.
They used to have a, what does that say? Catalog or something?
Yeah.
They did have a citation service where they build out like 150 citations. You just say, here, do it. And I think it was like $100 or something. Well, that didn't pack it. Some like $20, $50, but citations is the first one. There you go.
Oh.
Starting at $14 special. And for most local businesses, that's all you really need. It gives you enough credit and shows Google that you're relevant for that search.
Okay, just because I just was on a mission to kind of clean that stuff up because I finally decided, oh, let me get rid. I don't even have. I just got rid of that. I don't use it for anything. Like, and it wasn't doing what I needed. So. Anyway, okay, cool.
But it's 8:30, so the night is actually officially closed. If anyone has any questions, we'll be on for a little while longer. I did have one question I wanted to ask everybody, if I could just get kind of like a poll. Thank you very much. This is for, Stephen and I have actually found the Google Grant program. Has anybody heard of the Google Grant program before? Basically, for nonprofits, Google will actually give nonprofit organizations, depending on what categories are, up to $10,000 a month in ad spend. Okay, the ones that don't qualify are educational institutions and daycare type services. But for other nonprofits that are out there that have good charitable causes, they can apply for this grant and they get up to $10,000 a month to be used for advertising on Google AdWords. Well, we found that it's actually not that hard to get. But as long as you know a little bit about what you're doing in AdWords. And what we're kind of, I guess, contemplating is, would it be a worthwhile service to offer nonprofits for us to do the whole application and get them up and started on it for a fee of about $500 to $700? Or if they don't get the grant, full refund 100%. If they get the grant, then we'll have it actually set up so that they can actually start running the ads already through the Google program, and it can be handed over to them to take over once it's already up and running, or they can actually hire on for monthly services to keep it going. So we were wondering, or just kind of out there, if anybody knows of any nonprofits out there, do you think that would be a worthwhile service to be offered to people to get more exposure for their nonprofits? Just was kind of wondering if anybody had thoughts on that.
Sounds good. Sounds good, because they'd be up no matter what, because if it was 10,000 a month in advertising, then why would they be able to?
Correct. I mean,
it would,
yeah, we've been able to already, the first organization that we were able to get up and running on the grants program is spending about $200 a day right now in Google grant money. They don't spend any of their own money. There are some limitations with the grant. You can only go $2 a click, but if you know how to actually utilize AdWords well, you can actually maximize that $2 to get higher ranking than even those that may be paying for the clicks that are there as well. So, and it runs indefinitely as long as you have to log in once a month. You can't just set it and forget it, but log in once a month, maybe make a tweak here and there. As long as they see that someone's actually actively touching it for a little while, then they would actually be able to continue to let it run. So we found very good success in the first organization that we're trying to do. And then we thought this might be a viable model for nonprofits to actually utilize our services even more. That's quite a bit of money. I mean, $10,000. And get this, if you actually spend $9,900 of it per month, you can actually apply for a grant of $40,000 a month on that. And Google
well, there's a single mother's outreach over here that is a program that gives service and helps with education and a lot of stuff that they offer to the single mothers.
So do you think $700 or $500 is a lot to ask to have it all set up for them if they get, like I said, if they don't get it, they get their money back.
If they don't get it, they get refunded anyway.
Correct, they get 100% refund if they don't.
Sounds like a deal. I think it's a very good deal.
Okay, that's something that we're going to be moving forward with. On that.
I can talk to them if you.
Yeah, let them know if they're interested. It would be just a Google Ads that show up. If somebody searches single mother help or single mothers or anything, any keyword that they want, as long as it's a relevant keyword for their organization, we'll get them, we can actually put that inside of the search queries for them to get it and see if they can show up. A local business will probably not be able to utilize $10,000 worth. In fact, what's interesting is we saw a statistic that says the average amount of Google grant money that's usually given out per month is about $300 a month. The organization we're going with right now, we're spending $200 a day. So, I mean, obviously it's because a lot of organizations don't know how to utilize the AdWords system well enough for the exposure, yes. So, we'll see on that one. But does any other questions on internet marketing or anything else that we can answer? Yes?
I just have a question. Could you put my website on the hot seat?
Sure. What is your website?
It's classic British Spares, SPARES.com.
SPARES.com.
Yep.
I misspelled that.
And exactly how I said it.
It's just like it.
Oh. I redesigned it today. So.
Oh, where did it go? Go ahead and bring it.
Yeah. My customers don't have to go through that, will they?
Classic British
Spares, SPARES.com.
Spares. Okay, so affordable quality stairs. Let's see. Guaranteed. So the first number one rule that I've always heard of as far as a website, within the first 6 seconds, people should be able to know what your website does.
Okay.
I am not sure what a British spare is.
Well, we specialize in classic motorcycle parts, so spares is like a British terminology for a spare part.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, it's British motorcycle classics in the 60s and 70s.
Okay, so the only thing that right off the bat, from what you just said, I don't see the word motorcycle parts anywhere at the top. For SEO reasons, for search and optimization, you probably want to have that coming up where it can, because even at the top here, your title tag, oh there, motorcycle parts, it says classic British spares specializing in Triumph and USA motorcycle parts.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so that's actually good that it's in that title tag, but it's not actually on the website here.
Okay.
You probably want to have that somewhere placed where people know motorcycle parts, but not only that, so Google knows.
Okay.
Even more so. That would be very helpful for that. And perhaps what is this an image of? I'm not. Is that just your logo or?
That is correct. Yeah, that's the logo.
Okay. Okay, so then before that, up at the top here, in fact, no, we have the copywriter here. He'd asked to be in the hot seat on this to get a little insight on his website. Any first thoughts that come to mind when you look at this? One thing that stands out to me, being that the internet is so visual, I also don't see a motorcycle anywhere.
Okay.
Might want to have something like that somewhere, even maybe if it's a whitewash background,
Yeah.
but something that tells me this is a motorcycle site, but
Okay.
make me feel like I'm in it at that point.
I'd like the header to be kind of smaller so that you get more like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
The header to be a little bit
gaps.
more smaller, but also a call to action to tell your audience what you want them to do.
Okay.
Or maybe if you have like any promos or maybe not even promos, just to showcase something. What's popular?
As far as Are you asking what's
brand?
popular?
Yeah,
Like,
what's on your website? What sells the most?
Probably like rubber related items, because usually rubbers, that stuff tears and cracks. So items like that will probably be the most popular.
Maybe you should showcase that.
Okay.
Say, hey, looking for this? I know a lot of conversion rate optimization guys say don't use sliders. They just say that just don't use that, but I guess it depends on what the object is. But
yeah, I had sliders on here, and I just stick to the fixed image, because I read the same thing, so I'm kind of experimenting with that.
I don't think so this says the website's open 24/7. Can they call you 24/7?
They can't, but I feel that if it's, they can go to the website any time of the day throughout the week, so I consider that 24/7. Probably that's just from my point of view. So I want to get them to feel that they're welcome any time of the day. They can just come to the website.
I think that that's kind of
It's
implied.
in the
Yeah.
website, you don't close your website
Yeah.
at night.
I use that
This is
space
actually-
for something more.
Yeah, this is really valuable real estate, super valuable. That should be really pushing something hard that would get someone to do something like worth purchasing, or give them some really good information about
Motorcycle.
motorcycles.
So just some quick things, top to bottom. You've already hit number one. So it's called the fold, right?
Yeah, above the fold.
Just, it's key real estate above the fold. There's no call to action above the fold, and you haven't even gotten full width in what's visible. So you want to use it more. It's hard to read, not just our projector, but I certainly wouldn't use script. That's not a copywriting thing, but just, and we'll talk about it next time, but probably the only thing that isn't there, that isn't a platitude, is no hassle returns, although it's not described. Everything else, who isn't going to say quality service, right? There's nothing there that's specific. And I'd probably use the right side to add what's called social proof, right? That's where you'd want some testimonials, you'd want a video of somebody talking about how you blew them away. They were competing in a race in 2 days, and you emergency shipped it, and it was exactly what they needed, and you went above and beyond, and whatever it is, right? But something that that helps build your legitimacy.
Yeah, one of the things that has converted really well with some of our ads is that 100% guarantee, satisfaction guarantee.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of no hassle return, it's no hassle return, but any type. They like to see the percentage, 100%, no hassle, return policy, or guarantee. People like guarantees. Those are just like consistently across the board have converted really, really well for us.
Yeah, a place like Tennis Warehouse, for example, it comes with a return, prepaid return, right? But so sometimes you want that, like that, the shipping in 1 day guaranteed. Well, what does that mean, by the way? Does that mean it's free if it's not? Is that a clickable link? If I look at that guarantee, does that tell me more information?
No.
Those are things that, to the extent your guarantee has chops, has some depth to it, I'd actually have pages that describe the guarantee, or a pop-up that comes up over the top.
When I clicked that banner up there, it had me go to Shopify. It's asking me to log into Shopify, so that's something you want to fix.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no add to cart. If I want something, and is everything only on one page?
No, there's.
Multiple pages?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
How are you getting most of your traffic?
Most of it's coming through Google.
Through paid ads or organic?
Organic, very little through paid ads. Very little.
So I take it you have all of your descriptions of the park, did you write yourself, or?
Everything's written by myself, all the pictures, everything is done by me.
Okay, so nothing has been taken off of manufacturer's website?
No.
Do you inventory all this stuff? I presume you inventory a lot of it, right?
Yes.
I mean, a place just to start to stand out, your headline could be, I don't know the number, right, but 37,426 parts in stock, ready to ship, right? All, 17, whatever the numbers are, I'm making it up, right? 27 manufacturers,
Do you have analytics hooked up to this?
Yeah, I just put the code on over the weekend, or maybe it was like a day or two ago.
Oh, okay. Are you able to see what categories are most visited?
I haven't checked it yet. I mean, I'm still trying to familiarize.
I'm kind of getting to the idea of like what your menu bar should be. based off of the data that's coming in and analytics, when you can see what people are mostly visiting. So like you said, oh shoot, I forgot what you said. What was the most popular? Like some O-ring or something?
Yeah, like rubber parts.
Rubber parts. Okay, so that might not be the perfect menu
Within
item, but
Shopify, that'll also tell you.
oh, okay.
the categories.
Oh, okay. So just optimizing your menu bar for what people are searching rather than what you think is the best category. Because it might give them, you know, an easier way to find what they're looking for.
When you have a click on the
Yeah.
This is awesome. It's a good site. Yeah, there's a lot of the, I can see how people can find the stuff that they're looking for because the way they labeled everything.
I like that it's so niche.
Yeah, it's really, really. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Thank you guys all for coming. Next week again, or next month again, the copywriting. I'm sorry, what was your name again? Michael is going to have us on the copywriting lesson that I can't wait for that one as well. Thank you guys very much for coming out.
Thank you for your contribution.
Yes, and thank you very much.
John Baker, pipeline.